Once upon a time, in the biting silence of deep winter, a queen sat by a window framed in black ebony wood. She sewed, and the snow fell like feathers from the sky. Prick! A needle slipped. 3 drops of blood fell onto the snow. The contrast was striking, violent and pure. The queen whispered a wish into the cold air.
Oh, that I had a child as white as snow, as red as blood, and as black as the wood of this frame.
The wind heard her. The wish was granted. But wishes have a cost. The child was born, skin like porcelain, lips like winter berries, hair like a raven's wing. They called her Snow White. But as the child took her first breath, the mother took her last. Years spun by like a weaver's shuttle. The king took a new wife. This woman was beautiful, yes, but her beauty was a blade, sharp, cold, and dangerous.
I am the fairest in the land.
She possessed a mirror, a shimmering expanse of glass that held the truth of the world. Every morning, the ritual was the same. The queen would stand before it, eyes blazing with vanity.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
And the mirror, incapable of lying, would answer with a voice like cracking ice. You, my queen, are the fairest of all. The queen would smile, and the kingdom would breathe. Until the day the answer changed. Snow White was 7 years old, glowing with a light that came from within. A beauty that wasn't painted on, but lived in her kindness.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
The queen asked. The mirror answered. You, my queen, are fair, it is true. But Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you. The queen turned yellow with envy, then green with hate. The jealousy took root in her heart like a weed, growing wilder by the hour. She summoned a huntsman, a rough man smelling of leather and forest mulch.
Take the girl.
She hissed, her voice a serpent.
Take her into the deepest woods where the sun rarely touches the ground. Kill her. Bring me her lungs and liver as proof.
The huntsman obeyed. He led the girl away, deeper, deeper, into the twisted roots and grasping thorns. He drew his knife. The metal glinted. Snow White fell to her knees, weeping, begging for the life she had barely begun to live.
I will run.
She cried.
I will run into the wild and never come back.
The huntsman looked at her innocent face. He was a killer, yes, but he was not a monster. Run then, you poor child, he grunted, lowering the blade. He watched her flee, thinking the wolves would do the job for him. To satisfy the queen, he killed a young boar, carving out its organs to present to the wicked woman. She ate them, salted and cooked, believing she was consuming her rival. But Snow White ran. She ran until her lungs burned. Stones cut her feet. The trees seemed to reach for her with gnarled fingers. The wind howled names she didn't know. Just as evening fell and terror threatened to stop her heart, she saw it. a tiny cottage, a sanctuary nestled between two ancient oaks. She pushed the door open. It was small, but everything inside was neat. There was a table set for 7 tiny plates, 7 tiny mugs. Against the wall, 7 little beds stood side by side, covered in white sheets. Exhausted, she drank a sip from each mug, ate a bite of bread from each plate, and collapsed across the beds. Sleep took her instantly. When the masters of the house returned, they were not men, but dwarves, miners who dug for gold and copper in the mountains. They lit their 7 candles and saw the intruder.
Who is lying in our beds?
They whispered, holding their lanterns high. Then they saw her face.
Heavens above. This child is beautiful.
They let her sleep. In the morning, the story was told. The bargain was struck.
Hello, everyone.
If you keep house for us,
The eldest dwarf said, his voice gruff but kind.
cook, wash, and keep everything in order, you may stay. We will protect you.
With all my heart.
Snow White promised. And so peace returned.
Think this turkey is big? You should have seen the bear. I wrestled for it.
You are absolutely dreadful.
But peace is fragile when vanity is hunting. Back at the castle, the queen stood before her mirror, confident in her victory. She asked the question. The mirror shattered her reality.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all?
You, my queen, are fair, it is true. But over the hills where the 7 dwarves dwell, Snow White is still alive and well. The queen screamed. Her blood boiled. She knew the huntsman had betrayed her. Now she would do the work herself.
The mirror lied. Soon I will be the fairest in the land, and Snow White will be gone.
She painted her face, staining her skin to look like an old peddler woman. She traveled over the mountains, a spider weaving a web. She arrived at the cottage.
Good wares to sell. Laces, bodice laces in all colors.
Snow White, innocent and trusting, peered out.
I can let the honest woman in,
She thought. She opened the door. The old woman moved fast.
Oh, child, look how loose your bodice is. Let me lace you up properly.
Before Snow White could gasp, the lace was pulled tight. Tighter. The breath was squeezed from her body. She fell to the floor, dead to the world.
Now
The queen sneered.
I am the fairest again.
But the dwarves returned at sunset.
Hi-ho, it's home from work we go. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.
They saw her lying there, saw the tight lace, and cut it with a knife. The air rushed back into her lungs. Snow White awoke.
It was the queen.
They warned, fear in their eyes.
Open the door for no one.
The queen returned home. The mirror told her the truth again. She shook with rage. She made a poisoned comb. Again, she disguised herself. Again, she tricked the girl.
Here, my pretty one. A gift for such lovely hair.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Just let me comb your hair properly.
She cooed. The poison struck the scalp. The girl fell senseless. Again, the dwarves returned. They pulled the comb out. Snow White revived.
You must not open the door.
They pleaded.
Not for anyone.
Back in the castle, the queen trembled. She went into a secret, lonely chamber where no one else was allowed. There, she crafted her masterpiece, an apple. It looked perfect. Pale green on one side, a blushing, delicious red on the other. But the red cheek was steeped in a poison so potent that a single bite would stop the heart forever. She dressed as a peasant wife. She crossed the 7 mountains. She knocked.
I cannot let anyone in.
Snow White called through the window.
The 7 dwarves have forbidden it.
Just as well.
The old woman croaked.
I want to get rid of my apples. Here, I will give you one.
No,
Snow White hesitated.
I dare not take it.
Are you afraid of poison?
The woman laughed, a dry, rattling sound.
Look, I will cut the apple in 2. I will eat the green side. You eat the red, sweet side.
Snow White looked at the apple. It shone with promise. She saw the woman eat. She didn't know the green side was safe. Desire overcame her. She reached out her hand. She took a bite. Before she could swallow, her eyes widened. The world turned gray. She fell to the floor, breathless, lifeless. The queen stood over her, laughing a laugh that chilled the marrow.
White as snow, red as blood, black as ebony. This time, the dwarves cannot wake you.
At home, the mirror finally answered. You, my queen, are the fairest of all. And her jealous heart was at rest, as much as a jealous heart can ever be at rest. The dwarves found her. They cut no laces. They found no comb. They washed her face with water and wine. They wept for 3 days, but she did not wake. Yet she did not decay. She looked as if she were merely sleeping, her cheeks still rosy. They could not bury her in the dark earth. They built a coffin of clear glass, wrote her name in gold letters, and placed it upon the mountain peak. One of them always stayed to watch. Even the animals came to mourn, an owl, a raven, and a dove. Time passed, seasons turned. Snow White lay in her glass prison, unchanged. Then came a prince, riding through the forest. He saw the coffin on the mountain. He saw the girl within. He was struck not just by her beauty, but by the peace that radiated from her.
"Let me have the coffin,"
he told the dwarves.
"I cannot live without seeing her. I will honor her as my most dark treasure."
The dwarves, seeing the sincerity in his eyes and the pain in his voice, felt pity. They agreed. The prince ordered his servants to carry the coffin on their shoulders, but the path was rocky and uneven. As they stumbled over a thick root, the coffin jolted violently. The shock dislodged the piece of poisoned apple from Snow White's throat. It flew out. She drew a sudden, sharp breath. Her eyes fluttered open. She pushed the lid up and sat up, alive and bewildered.
Where am I?
She cried. The prince, his heart soaring, exclaimed,
You are with me.
He told her the story, his voice trembling with joy.
I love you more than everything in the world. Come with me to my father's castle and be my wife.
Snow White looked at him, saw the kindness that matched the dwarves, and went with him. Their wedding was prepared with great splendor and magnificence. And the wicked queen? She was invited to the feast. She stood before her mirror one last time, adorned in her finest silks.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of us all?
The mirror answered, its voice ringing like a judgment bell. You, my queen, are fair, it is true, but the young queen is 1,000 times fairer than you. She uttered a curse.
Let her beauty wither, let her voice be silenced forever. I am the fairest, and this kingdom is mine.
But curiosity drove her. She had to see. She entered the hall. When she saw Snow White, alive and radiant, terror froze her in place. But it was not red-hot shoes that killed her, as some legends say. It was the bile of her own envy. Seeing the girl she tried to destroy now shining brighter than she ever could, the queen's heart simply gave out. She collapsed on the stone floor, consumed by the very darkness she had courted. Snow White looked upon her not with hate, but with pity. She turned back to her prince and the 7 faithful friends who stood by her side. And so they lived, not just happily, but with the wisdom that true beauty comes not from the reflection in a glass, but from the light one brings into the world.